Alright, I think we're there. What's going on, everybody? Ted here with Bodies and Wicks. How's it going? It is Wednesday, May 26th, in case you didn't know. I just actually had to read the screen myself to figure it out, but anyways, man, today was, for most of us, it seemed like today was a day that things seem to be getting a little bit stronger, a little bit more optimism, but optimism doesn't always translate into positivity, I guess you could say, is the best way to explain it. I know that my portfolio started off fairly strong. I didn't do well in the trading section. That's where I lacked, and especially within the last 30 minutes. And that's when I realized, okay, because I was trading off of what I know to be certain things off of the algorithm, and it looks like it's pushing a different direction. So didn't know what I was going to talk about tonight, and it looks like, well, first of all, it looks like my actual thing is working. This is the first time it has worked in quite some time. I'm surprised to see that my YouTube is not saying there's not enough, whatever to make a good video. But hold on one second. Because last night I gave some tips and tricks to show you how price is gonna bounce and where it's gonna bounce to, and to what to look for after it gets to certain spots and things like that. So smart money moves. So in case you didn't know, that's what I am. I'm Ted. I usually preach smart money, which is the exact opposite of retail theory. If you don't know what retail theory is, it's basically what everybody's telling you what to do. Like, let's say there's, draw a trend line, and every time that the price hits the trend line, buy off of it, and how many times have you done that and it went the opposite way, or if it's you had two spikes, and then the third one's coming up to the same level, and everybody's telling you to sell, and the third spike goes straight up and it doesn't come back down, and you lose out, and you go broke just because you thought that was going to be your resistance level, and because that's what everybody told you it was going to be, but instead it went straight through. Well, that's what I'm here to tell you about, because I am here to tell you that is smart money playing you. That is smart money knowing exactly what you're going to do, because that's what you've been told to do. And so smart money knows how to take your money. So I do the opposite. You got to figure out how to do the opposite. And I can try to show you the best that I can. But right now, the market wasn't in the best conditions. But first, I guess what we'll do is we'll go to Bitcoin to see what is happening right now. Because it did kind of just lay down the law and make quite a drop. So what I will do is head on over here to, I am not on the right section. I am on the news section, not the, there we go. Now we're on the chart section. Sorry about that. This is what is happening with Bitcoin right now. And why is there so many colors and everything on my screen? Well, let me show you. Just get out and to the day spot, and you'll see probably a lot of markings and a lot of stuff that's going on. But this was an area of concern to me whenever it happened. As soon as it happened, and this is when Tesla announced that they were getting into Bitcoin. So as soon as this happened, I took notice, and I basically, this was an area that I have been watching for a long, long time. And you can ask, well, I guess you can ask my friends if you want, but no, I have a group chat with a couple of friends that we talk about crypto all the time, and I talked about this one a lot. I said, watch. I said it's gonna come back to this point. It's gonna come back to this area at some point. There's going to be something happen, and it's going to come back to this area. I said it scares me whenever I see a green candle that big, right? And there's nothing that's pulled back. It tried to balance, anything, because that's what price tries to do. Price tries to do two things and two things only, and that is find liquidity and balance price. I guess I shouldn't flip you off, but find liquidity and balance price. That's the two things that price tries to do. It's not trying to make slopes. It's not trying to, make trend lines. It's not trying to, because if that was the case, if trend lines were exactly what, price was all about, we would have see, it just doesn't even work. What do? You go to this guy, and then this guy runs into this guy. So, I guess that's not really a trend line. So, we go over here instead. Let's just say, and here we kind of have a trend line, I guess. Can it stop now? Okay, so we got a little bit of a trend line going. Well, I guess we can get rid of liquidity. There's tons of liquidity, but now it breaks that trend line, and now people use some kind of excuse as to why it broke that trend line. And the answer is that there's no trend line. There's no trend line. There's no. I mean, this is to fake you out. So as soon as it made this high, right, and it started coming down, I probably could look. You can see it right here. People thinking it was gonna be a trend line, and probably started buying, and you see it start going back up, and then next thing you know, it just flat flies through the bottom and takes out everybody's money. So there's the liquidity right there. There's a huge liquidity pool sitting right underneath that trend line, and it just rips through and just takes out so many people. And the funny thing was, as it was going up and doing all of this, 55 was my high. I called it I think it was around 56 or so. So around 56 is when I jumped out of Bitcoin, and I sat on the sidelines because I knew that something like this would be coming. So, or at least I jumped out before this high, because I thought maybe, if anything, I thought 62, this right here, I thought was going to be the highest high. I thought 62 was going to be the highest high, and for a while anyway, and I thought we'd be going sideways before we'd see anything higher than that. So that's why I jumped out around 56, somewhere around there, and sat on the sidelines, even though I wish I would have stayed in, got in a little bit longer, got up there around 64, 65, whatever it was, and then jumped out. But I had no idea it was going to do that. But I sat on the sidelines and I waited, and next thing I know, it's a whole week of downtrend, and it was, as soon as it made that high, it just, it looked like it was going to try to come back, and it didn't. And you know, people look like there was some FOMO action right in here, right after it made the high, and then of course that fake, you know, line that I just showed you. You know, people were probably jumping in right there, and then as soon as smart money realizes there's a trend line that, you know, it looks like, you know, people are trying to buy off of. Guess what we're gonna do? Boom, we're gonna take it the opposite way by selling every single bit of Bitcoin that we have, and also leveraging shorts. So they leveraged all those shorts while selling at the same time. So they made money while they sold all their Bitcoin. So it works that way, especially if you have enough money to do it. And there's a ton of people in this world that do have that kind of money in Bitcoin right now. So small traders like me and you, we can't do that. We can't push the market around. Yeah, especially when it pretty much relies on an algorithm, and these guys know the algorithm and they know how to push the algorithm around as well. So ever since then, I did have these guys here on these order blocks. I did buy back in for a short amount of time. I got out again, and I got out probably whenever it dropped here. I want to say when it dropped here, I got out somewhere in this red candle, and then I stayed on the sidelines, and I've been on the sidelines ever since. I do still own a little bit of Bitcoin, not much, but most of it is in something else. I do have a lot of altcoins that I'm in, so Bitcoin has just been, and so now we're in a territory, and I saw somebody make a post, and let me see if I can't try to recreate it or make it